This show is clean, pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 646. Hello, I am Mike Matthews, and I am broadcasting to you live from the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California today. Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, the Brewmaster, plus part one of my Intuit interview with singer-songwriter Daniel G. Harmann. And what is Robin Thicke trying to do to get his wife back?
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I know that's something interesting to think about. Or maybe thinking about having a heart attack.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
That doesn't sound like a fun thing to do. What was I saying or thinking of? I don't know, but I wanted to tell you what happened on yesterday's show. There was an interesting moment where we went back in time, poking a hole in the space-time continuum because I was being audited. Yes, that's fine to joke about, but really, not so much, really.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
So I'll leave it there. Then there was an interesting thing that I wanted to tell you about.
Mike's
the response
Daily
I got to
Podcast
yesterday's interview with the person I was talking to yesterday, and the person I was talking to mentioned how they had a book on Amazon and that they were really excited because they had their first review. And I got a comment to the effect of, well, you know, most books get at least one review. It's not that big of a deal. Why was that person so excited to hear about that? And yes, we can laugh about that, but I can also point out that I have had a Yelp. There's a Yelp for this podcast, and I've had only one comment on it for now going on 3 years. So sometimes that one review is the most important review in the universe. Also wanted to point out today's the last day of February. Isn't that a whiz bang? Look who just walked in. Hi, Mark. It's Benita, the rodeo queen. How y'all doing?
And it's a disgruntled fiddle player. Tell you what.
What?
Why did you go back in time, poke a hole through the space-time continuum? Because you were being audited. Taxes. Everybody gets audited with taxes, don't they?
I haven't been audited ever before with taxes.
Well, that's because you pay them.
Oh, possibly. Look who else just walked in.
Oh, dear Mark, this is the Brewmaster. I make the root beer. Oh, boy.
Brewmaster, did you make a delicious root beer in honor of the last day of February?
Yeah, this is called the last day of February. Root beer. Enjoy.
I will enjoy, because this is an actual mug of root beer you're pouring for me, and it's actually happening, just like we actually went through a space-time whole continuum. Please allow your imagination to stretch just a little bit, will you? Just a little, just a wee stretch? Oh, maybe not that much. Oh, this root beer is simply delightful.
Thanks, Mark.
We're all good friends here, aren't we? Brewmaster, Disgruntled Fiddle Player, Benita. I don't know who you are. There's something I wanted to bring up, and that is Robin Thicke. He's got a naked girl in his video. Yeah, she is quite lovely, the naked girl. So maybe it is not that far of a stretch of the imagination that he would possibly be having problems in his marriage. I'm going to put in a bunch of naked women in my music video and have the biggest song of the year because of that. And, oh, by the way, are we still married? Paula Patton. Well, they've been split, Robin Thicke and Paula Patton. Following his emotional performance last night in Virginia, dedicating a song to Paula, it emerged that he had arranged for a set of huge floral bouquets. Yes, bouquets, as in two. As in, is that the plural of that French word? I guess. To be delivered to her home. Several bouquets of flowers were seen arriving at Paula's Hollywood Hills house, and it was clear that no expense was spared on the gesture. Robin Thicke said in the show last night, for all you that don't know me and my wife separated, but I'm trying to get my girl back. She's a good woman. He had canceled 3 concerts following their split, which was announced on Monday. The dailymail.co.uk says months of embarrassment over Robin's twerking routine with Miley Cyrus and dodgy you can tell this is a British website, and dodgy photographs of him groping random socialite Lana Scolaro's bum apparently pushed the stunning Paula, an incredible catch, to end the relationship. Paula apparently had a big argument with Robin following the show, saying that she was insulted by the routine and that it took place in front of a huge TV audience.
Mark, if Miley Cyrus was twerking on the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, we have a mutual agreement that Miley can twerk on me and Hugh Jackman can twerk on Benita.
That's a great little marriage you two have.
Yeah, it's beautiful, but I gotta go. Bye, I want my bouquet of flowers too, Disgruntled Fiddle Player.
Mark, quick, give me some roses to give my wife.
I don't just have roses growing out of my head. Actually, I do. Here.
Thanks. By the way, you should have that looked at.
Yeah, I really should. So what do you think about this whole thing with, I don't care either? Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. We read your comments on the section emails from email. Also email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you would like to sponsor the show. MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. Hey, there's also the website, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. And, you can comment on the show there. You can review the show there. Maybe I'll get one review. And then I'll get all excited and boast about it and be all happy and whatnot. But, yes, there's MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. There are links there to where you can listen to the show in iTunes. And if you rate and comment on the show there, more people find out about Mike's Daily Podcast. There's also a link to where to catch this show and like this show in Facebook. It's also where I post the latest shows there on my Facebook timeline. And when those pop up in your news feed, share those with your friends so that more people find out about Mike's Daily Podcast. There's also links to where to listen to the show in YouTube, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Stitcher. We're on Yelp. We're on Twitter. And there's the Amazon deal of the day at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. If you click on that and buy a deal of the day or just shop anywhere through the Amazon portal, we get a little bit of support through that. There's also the blog and the daily podcast picture, all at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com.
Into an interview.
Daniel G. Harmann is talking to us right now. I'm Harry Carey. Daniel G. Harmann, hello. Welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast.
Hey, Mike. How's it going, man?
Great. You're the most talented person we've ever had on the show. Just kidding.
Yeah, I don't believe that. You're the host.
Oh, stop. Wow. You're so kind. Okay, I have to admit, before we started recording this, we were talking forever about different things like Jimmy Fallon and the guest I had on yesterday. But we're not going to talk about that now. We're going to talk about you.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about how you ended up in Seattle. How did that happen? And lead us on that journey, Daniel G. Harmann.
Well, I grew up in Arizona in a really small town. Yeah, I know.
You said two things that scare me.
Small town and Arizona.
Really scare me. Okay, go on.
Me too. And then the day after high school, I graduated, the day after I graduated high school, I moved to Phoenix, which was, a big city for me and a little bitter. But
did you go to any of the Sun Devil games?
No, but I worked on campus, like a block away from the stadium. So you'd get a bunch of bros. Like I worked at some weird clothes store there.
Oh,
and just a bunch of bros, drinking 40s and walking to the game every Sunday. It was kind of fun. It was a good time to be, in your early 20s. But
I remember the women there looking very nice. Is that true?
They're not bad. Yeah, if you're into tan and fake boobs. I'm more into real pale Seattle.
Pale in Seattle.
That is a look.
So that's the two ends of the spectrum.
Exactly.
Of the women, I guess. I don't know. Wow. Okay.
So at some point I was like, I got to get out of here. And
were you playing music then?
Yeah, I played in a couple of punk rock bands. I played bass and sang a little bit, but I wasn't that was kind of in the era of when Jimmy Eat World was getting, got signed to Capitol, and
hey, don't go it on your own.
Exactly.
If you want to be a don't know, a chicka-bow.
Pretty much, yeah. And so all of our friends were trying to be in Jimmy Eat World-esque bands and open for Jimmy Eat World, and I was like, all right, I'm out of here. And so
the bass line was like this, like do 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 do, something like that. In a lot of the bands you were in.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, it's pretty much like I grew up playing guitar, and then I would switch to bass for these fun bands, and I was like, all right, well, I'm going to play it like a guitar. So it was like me playing a lot of two-fingered chords on the bass guitar, which is still what I do. So things never change.
But
it's like if you're a guitar player and you play bass, you're always going to play bass like a guitar player. I don't think that'll ever change.
And it's fun music and fun shows, I bet.
Yeah, it was good. And then, but I moved to Seattle in '99, and because I felt like I came up here with my sister for a trip, and really loved it, and was like, all right, I got to get out. So I made the move with my best friend from high school, and just started living in the city. And I've been here. I moved to Portland for 2 years, between 2004 and 2006, but I've been here in the Northwest ever since. And then my parents finally this last year moved to Washington too. So now I never have to go back.
You are in a good spot then.
Yeah, Northwest. I love it.
Now, your parents, have they accepted you're a musician yet?
They still accept it as a hobby. Like I put out little things for my friends here and there, records and stuff. But
and they've been to your shows.
They have, yeah. Not here in Washington, but when I would tour and go to Arizona, and they would come. Yeah.
See,
they listen to the records. My mom has a hard time listening to them because it makes her cry.
Oh, really?
But what doesn't?
She cries a lot?
She's a crier.
She likes to watch The Biggest Loser and go, oh, that person was once fat.
Yeah, like someone else.
That was an allusion to yesterday's show, and you need to listen to yesterday's show to understand.
Right.
Go. Well, that's good. Now maybe I got an extra download out of that. Thank you. That'll help.
I hate email.
You hate email?
No, I said, and an extra hate email.
Oh. Yeah. No, nothing but love emails.
Yes, that's right. So that, I've been here since then, and it was in 2000 where I kind of just sat in my bedroom and wrote some songs just kind of for friends. I had a friend die in a car accident, one of my friends from high school that year, and so I just had some stuff to kind of say and get out, and I did it and took it to a studio and recorded it with an engineer whose records I really liked, and he had a small label and wanted to put it out, and since then, at that point, it was like, okay, well, I'm either going to do this or I'm not. So I kind of cut off all other artistic endeavors at that point to focus on this. So here we are now.
Because you had other artistic endeavors.
I was doing photography and maybe trying to to do some local theater and paint and stuff like that. But music for me was always the thing that I knew that I wanted to do. Until I moved to Seattle, I didn't know really how. Until you go to shows every night in your 20s and you meet people, and it wasn't until because that can't happen. That doesn't happen in Phoenix.
Yeah. And there's a lot of shows in Seattle.
Yeah, there's a lot of shows every night in Seattle. There were less then, but now it's colossal.
Wow.
But yeah, it was a great time to be in your 20s, and with the Crocodile still the old. Crappy Crocodile. You see 4 bands a night for $5. It was awesome. You're constantly learning and swimming in it. So
now,
I wanted to be a part of that.
Now, how much does it cost for seeing 4 bands in one night at the Crocodile?
Well, the Crocodile is actually a lot nicer than it was back then. But we played at this newer venue called Barboza 2 nights ago. It was our CD release show, but also our final show. And for 4 bands, it was $10. So.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it just depends on if you're playing with a big national or international touring band. a lot of those ticket prices are higher. But if it's a bunch of locals, you can easily get into a show for under 10, probably closer to 5.
And so the band called the Trouble Starts is no longer?
That's correct, yeah. I've been doing that for about... It kind of started as I made Anthems from the Gentle War, and that was my second record that was like big sounding, like a band had played on it, but it was really me, myself and the producer doing everything in the studio. And I wanted to play those songs live, so it kind of came from that. And I had a friend who played drums and a friend who played bass, and so, I didn't want to lose like the momentum I had from my solo work. So we started playing as Daniel G. Harmann and the Trouble Starts and released 2 records under that moniker. And then over the last 2 years, we've been playing just as the Trouble Starts. Because doing press and radio and stuff, you see a band with a dude's name and then a band name, you're like, oh, alt country. Or it's just singer-songwriter or something.
Right.
So we learned that lesson kind of the hard way, doing a publicity campaign for Risk. And, it looks big on a poster, and just kind of wanted to simplify, and it kind of gave the dudes more ownership of what they were doing as well in the band.
I see. So it reminds me of Eric Burden and War, and then he leaves War, and then there's just War.
Yeah, or it's like the opposite of what happened to Miami Sound Machine. Because there was Miami Sound Machine, and then Gloria Estefan and Miami Sound Machine, and then just Gloria Estefan.
Huey Lewis and the News. Bruce Hornsby and the Range.
There you go. Yeah, I went in reverse order, but now I'm just back to plain old lonely Daniel G. Harmann.
I want to go to a concert with just the Range. They rock. They were the shiznit, man.
They were amazing. Just the Range. No Bruce mucking it up.
We don't need piano on these songs. We'll just do our little in the background, and then
or it's like tonight at Slim's, the E Street Band.
Exactly.
Pretty sure that the E Street Band would do a lot better with, than the Range.
Yeah.
Without the Bruces.
Tonight, our triple bill, we have the News, the Range, and the E Street Band is headlining. It'll be great.
Sorry, Max Weinberg couldn't make it either.
Oh, I would go see that, and that would probably also be $10 or
Totally.
$5. That would be no, it would probably be $300 because they'd, think that the stupid older people would want to go and.
Oh, they would. It'd be like an Eagles show.
Yeah. Oh, please! I almost got sucked into paying like $200 to go to an Eagles show. I was like, no, I don't want to see that.
That's like lose right there.
Yeah, and it had to be on your American Express. I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
Daniel G. Harmann, I'm excited to see you when you come to San Francisco. Now, does your girlfriend still live here?
No, she lived there. She worked for a startup. She still does. It's based in San Francisco, so she had to move down for a year. And we did the long distance thing, and then she moved back in September. So
that startup wouldn't be called WhatsApp.
I wish. Yeah, I'm the founder of WhatsApp.
Wow.
WhatsApp. Oh, not much.
I'm just $3 billion richer. That's all.
No big deal. She lives back here now, and then I'm going on the road in May, and maybe we can get together and chat before then too, and kind of talk about the tour and stuff like that. That'd be cool.
Excellent. Yes.
And wherever we're playing in the Bay Area, I'll happily put you on the list.
Woo!
Put you on the list.
The rewards of doing a podcast. So that's back to what you were when we were talking about your parents not quite understanding what you do. Imagine trying to explain podcasting to your mom. And now, what's that you do, honey? You do a what? It's called a pod? What? You eat a lot of green pods? Is that what you...
Yeah, it's like the radio, but not, Mom.
Yeah. And I get on lists, Mom. I get to go to shows.
Yeah, I get to go to shows where 3 dudes will bore me and put me to sleep. But hey, it's better than the Eagles, right?
Because then that would be, 6 guys boring you and putting you to sleep.
They would be asleep.
Yes, Don Henley, we get it. You can hit high notes. Great.
It's the end of the innocence. What to do?
Now, I'm hiding because we're right next to here at the last place on earth my CD rack, and I do have a huge Don Henley section. So let me hide.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. End of the Innocents is a great record.
What about Building the Perfect Beast?
Yeah, well, that one's the one with Boys of Summer on it, right?
Right, and You Can't Make Love.
Oh.
Or no, wait, what was the one? Here, I'm pulling it out here now. Oh, Down at the Sunset Grill.
I don't know if I know that one.
Respectable little murders pay. There he goes, hitting his high notes again. Jeez.
Yeah. And that was pre-auto-tune also. So
yeah.
Nailing it.
Oh, well, let's play one of your songs. Let's play, shall we play It's Fine, It's Fine?
Let's do that, yeah. Now, do we, yeah, let's do it. And then we'll figure out, do we, like, listen to it together? Or are you going to plop it in? You know, the mysteries of, like, how actually things work, people. You're learning.
I don't know, but it sounds like you're doing a little soft shoe right there. I hear a little
I was swinging my arms. Yeah.
It sounded like you threw a little sand on the ground and you're doing that little dance you do with your shoes.
Remember, like that Cosby Show episode where they have the dance off and he's like, challenge.
Oh, now I got...
After this.
Yes! I'm putting on my big sweater and I'm going to watch some Cosby. No, but let's talk about the song before I play it. How about that? It's Fine, It's Fine. Where did it... Now, is this your first post the Trouble Starts solo type thing, or how did this one come about?
Well, so what I decided to do in October, even before the Trouble Starts were, officially done, I made the decision to record a new solo record. And I'm going to go do that in Portland with a producer friend of mine named Brandon Eggleston. He's amazing, and my friend Colin, who lives in Portland, is going to play drums on it. But the idea was like, I need to get back to how I used to write songs, which is my guitar and myself and no technology. Because, I feel like I lost some of myself being in a band, because I would bring songs that were pretty close to being done, and we would finish them and make them awesome, hopefully. Or we would write something in the practice space, and then I would phone in some lyrics, and we'd go from there. And it wasn't how I used to do it, where I would sit in my room with my guitar and remember the song, and then record it. So I really wanted to get back to that. So I decided to make a solo record, but I also wanted to kind of give people, because that probably won't come out for, 8 months or something. I wanted to give people some insight into what I was doing. So I decided to start releasing free tracks every month. So that's kind of where that came about. And I'm going to release 2 more next week also. So it's called the West Roy Sessions. It's all on my Bandcamp page where I have all the band stuff and all the solo records and stuff too. And they're all free downloads. So that's kind of where that came about.
So how did the name West Roy Sessions?
Well, I live in an apartment building called the West Roy.
Oh.
And keep the stalkers away. You're right. No, but that's kind of how it was. And I was like, oh, that's a pretty name. And, I live in a building. I feel really lucky because I like the coolest building I've ever lived in my life. And so I have a cool view of downtown. I'm not trying to sound cool. Like I said, I feel really lucky and I don't deserve to live here. But I have a nice view of downtown and stuff. And so I've been taking some pictures and posting them on Instagram. And it kind of all tied in. So we're using a lot of those photos that I took as the quote unquote cover, the artwork for the West Roy Sessions. And if you go to thetroublestarts.bandcamp.com, you can see them and take a listen if you like, people of the internet podcast, whatever that is, world.
And you know what? I think your pictures are fantastic, the ones I've seen on Instagram.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Because when you mentioned you were thinking of photography early on in your life, then I see it now. And
thank you. I like taking pictures, and thank God technology is, what it is now, because you can do it with your phones and your iPads and stuff, because that's part of the reason I didn't pursue it further is I'm really terrible about learning how stuff works. Like photographers all know how their cameras work inside and out, I barely know what string on the guitar I'm playing, let alone what makes it work. I just happen to enjoy that more.
And you're also an electrician.
I'm a former electrician. I guess I got laid off, and now I'm just doing everything within my power to make music work. So.
But that basically means, though, that you do two things that end in the word shin.
That is true.
Musician, electrician.
We can think of other stuff, don't you think? Too.
A beautician?
Mortician?
Just a shindig. I don't know. So
dig shin? I don't know either.
But yeah, so has that ever helped? Like, let's say you're doing a gig and all of a sudden the power went out on something and you're just sort of like, oh, I'll just rip that out and put it together. Okay, and we're gonna.
No, dude, I'm like the world's worst electrician. And like, as soon as I would get home, I would completely check out. I would be like, all right, different world now. So
back to
like
musician.
I had this old amp that I would always get shocked because it didn't have a ground plug.
Oh.
And I was like, I have no idea what to do. Can someone else handle this, please? I don't know what's going on.
So let's play It's Fine, It's Fine. And it has a little mention here of San Francisco.
That's for you, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Finally, huh?
Well, it would have been... I don't actually live in San Francisco. I live in Podcastro Valley. So work that into one of your songs.
I'll do what I can.
You know, I am just so ungrateful. I am so sorry.
No. Why would you ever say that?
Well, I thank you, though, in the name of San Francisco for putting that in there. But this is a cool song, and this is just you with your guitar, right?
Yep, recorded at my apartment with technology.
Electricity.
I guess. I don't know what any of that is.
Electrons moving. Okay, It's Fine, It's Fine. It's Daniel G. Harmann on Mike's Daily Podcast. Daniel G. Harmann, and It's Fine. It's Fine. As we go outside of the last place on earth where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California. And tomorrow will be the fine finale of our Into an Interview.
And here's today's podcast picture.
So I put a new antivirus software on my computer, and now I can't open iTunes. I don't know if that's a blessing or a curse. The picture is of Daniel G. Harmann. That is definitely a blessing. Take a look and see what he looks like. He'll like that, I'm sure. And you can find out more about Daniel G. Harmann at his Bandcamp page. That's at thetroublestarts.bandcamp.com.
Mike, look, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player got me a bunch of roses.
Just what you asked for, huh?
Yeah.
Thanks again, Mark.
No problem. Ow, I'm in pain. I don't know if I'm in more pain because roses are growing out of my head or that you just ripped them off me.
Not so loud. She thinks I bought him.
Yeah, not so loud, Mike. I think you bought him.
Oh. Well, tomorrow, the finale with my Into It interview with Daniel G. Harmann, plus we will hear from Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley.
Mark, do you think Robin Thicke will hook me up with any of the hot women that were in his Blurred Lines video?
No.
How about with his soon-to-be ex-wife?
I don't know. Don't think so. Have you tried OkCupid?
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST-Music-2-28-14. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Goodbye, February.